Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about some products that did not work out for me. I don't tend to share fails on my channel very often because I kind of feel like makeup just works for different people, and it might be a fail for me, but it might not be for you. And so I don't want to necessarily discourage you from trying something out. That being said, if something doesn't work for me, maybe it won't work for you either. And I'd like to give you that information so that you don't spend your money on something that I have found is not a very good product. So I collected some fails and we're going to talk about them. And these are kind of all random. Some of them have actually been in videos. So if you have watched all of my videos, then you will know about some of these fails. Let's get started with the first fail. I did an entire video comparison using this product, and I compared it to the Charlotte Tilbury Instant Face palette that's very, very expensive. I love Milani as a brand, absolutely love them, and I was absolutely hoping that this product was going to be a dupe for that very expensive Charlotte Tilbury palette. This product was horrible. I want to thank you guys for one thing for encouraging me to do this, because I am going to declutter all of these products. I have been saving them to share with you all. First of all, let's talk about the bronzer. It is this horrible mustard yellow, not attractive color. Again, this is my experience, so it might not be yours. The blush is okay. It's nothing that great, but all of the highlighters were metallic and glittery and just not attractive. And the same thing with the shadows. I didn't like any of the shadows. The look that I created with this felt cheap. It didn't feel put together. So I am just not a fan of this product at all. I've seen other influencers rave about this product, but I didn't find one redeeming quality really in this entire palette. Since Charlotte Tilbury just won for that section, let's go to a Charlotte Tilbury fail, and that is this new shadow series that she's come out with. These are called the Hollywood Flawless Eye Filters. So when you see these shadows, you think, oh, those look really pretty. So what's the big problem, right? They are all just so similar that you cannot get any type of a look with them. They all just look like a shimmery mess on the eye. And this is an expensive palette, I believe $50 plus. And I just felt like it was a whole bunch of shadow toppers. I was so disappointed in this entire palette. I did do an entire video on this eyeshadow palette, so if you want more details, you can check that out. But this was an absolute fail for me. They have another shade range of this, and I think they've actually come out with a couple more. I am not a fan, and I just don't understand spending this kind of money for basically 4 shimmers that all merge into one kind of goopy mess. Since we're on the topic of eyeshadows, I love Bare Minerals, and they came out with these new eyeshadow palettes, and I went out and bought one of them. This is the Mineralist Ultra Natural eyeshadow palette in Cool Neutrals, and here is the palette. And does it look dull and boring? Yes. And is it dull and boring? Yes. It is just not attractive. None of these shades were that great. I don't know if I just picked a bad set of shades, but I loved the Gen Nude Neutrals palette that they had. They were so pigmented and so beautiful, and these are just not. I was not a fan of this at all. These were not inexpensive and just not a very attractive look. How about a highlighter fail? I recently picked up this highlighter from Flower Beauty. I love Flower Beauty. I have a lot of products from Flower Beauty that are some of my absolute favorites, and I was excited to try this highlight. It is, as you can just see, and if I had seen it in person, I would not have purchased this. It is a glob of glitter. It is so bad. It just puts glitter all over your face. It's not attractive unless you are trying to be like Tinkerbell or something like that. This is one of the worst highlighters I have ever picked up. Many of you watched as I was trying out the new Lancome concealer. This is a fail for me. I tried and I tried and I really wanted to love this, but it was so drying under my eyes. It aged me 10 years. Every single time I wore it, No matter what I did, no matter what I put under it, this was a fail. And again, this is an expensive product. I love Lancome and I love the Tente Doll foundation as well as the stick foundation. It's one of my very favorites. So I had such high hopes for this, but this was a fail for me. I really enjoy products from Laura Geller. I did an entire video on Laura Geller, a full face of Laura Geller, but one of the products that I picked up from her when I was putting that full face together just did not work. I didn't include it in the video because it was such a disaster. And it is this baked eye pie in Coffee Berry Crunch. I will show you what it looks like. I thought, wow, this will be great. All three shadows, all in one. This will be so pretty and easy to use. Very similar sort of to the Charlotte Tilbury. They all just mixed and merged together. And again, it was just a shimmery, glimmery mess. Nothing that attractive. None of the shades were even that pretty. They all just looked really messy on the eye. Very difficult to get any type of look unless you decided to just do one of these shadows all over. I was very disappointed in this product. Another 3-in-1 eye product, I recently put up a video on Undone Beauty, another full face. And in that, I used this cream 3-in-1 eyeshadow palette. This palette is called Earthling. And it's not a horrible palette, but basically all you really want is that pretty coppery shade. This is just okay. And this top shade in the black is a little too intense for me. And I will say this never set down. This cream formula never set on my eyes, so it just kind of moved and looked greasy all over my eyelid. I just was not a fan of this and I wouldn't recommend it. There are so many better cream shadows out there. I love the ones from Burt's Bees. Of course, all the Laura Mercier shadow sticks, but even the e.l.f. shadow sticks are really good. But this is just a real mess of a product and not one that I would recommend checking out. Another disappointment in eyeshadow palette is from Maybelline. Somebody influenced me to buy this. This is their little City Mini palettes. This is the shade Downtown Sunrise. And this isn't the worst palette ever, but again, the shades and the quality of the shadows is just not very good. Plus, you have this really dark shade, and then you go down to kind of a very light shade. You need an in-between. I always had to use my bronzer when I would try to use this. And this is pretty, but super bright. And it goes straight from there to kind of like a baby pink. Just this entire palette, it has a lot of glitter flecks in the shimmers too. Just not my favorite. I just wouldn't recommend trying it out. I did a new at the drugstore video, and in that video I tried this powder for the first time. It's probably the worst powder I've ever used. It is from Burt's Bees. It is their mattifying powder that is just a total mess. It just kicks up so much product. It looks super cakey on your face and it just doesn't work very well. It's not that mattifying. It doesn't do that great of a job and it's just a mess. This was a definite fail. I have two more. One is from Kosas, and I love this brand Kosas, but this mascara I think is just a goopy, gloppy mess. You can already see, you can always tell from a mascara around the edge if it's really goopy and gloppy. It shouldn't make such a mess like that, but this was just such a mess. So much product came off. It glooped up and glopped up on my lashes. I never ever, and you can see just from taking it out, look at the mess around the sides there, just from me doing that. Not my favorite mascara. And of course, not an inexpensive mascara. This is a high-end mascara that I just thought was horrible. My last fail is from Jaclyn Cosmetics. I really love Jaclyn Cosmetics. Her powders are incredible. The blush duos are probably some of my favorite of her products. When she came out this summer with these lip oil products, I thought I would give them a try. And the problem is the applicator is so big and it is so gloopy. Again, I know I'm using that word a lot, but there's something about getting too much product. I'll try putting it on for you. Look at all that product on my lip. It's so much. And it's too much. It's just way too much. I feel like I've got 3 layers of this oil on my lips. It's not very hydrating even. I don't know. There's something about this product that is just not that great. Again, it just looks so ridiculous how much product. And again, I think part of it is this applicator. I mean, you can see how much product comes out. Not my favorite product by any stretch from Jaclyn Cosmetics. Okay, those are my fails. I hate to do this because so many of these brands are some of my very, very favorites, but guess what? They can't all be winners, right? And if I've helped you to save some money, if you were eyeing one of these products or thinking about it, then maybe I've helped you a little bit. I hope I have helped you to avoid wasting your money on some of these products. Again, disclaimer is that these did not work for me, but maybe they're your favorite product. And if they are, please let me know in the comments below. And that is great. We are all different. I know a lot of people in particular who love this concealer, but for me, it was just an absolute fail. And I tried. I promise you I tried. Hope you guys are doing well. And thank you so much for joining me here today. I appreciate your time so much. See you in my next video.